It is with pride to have our special guest this week in celebration of Thanksgiving Day from Madison, Wisconsin. She is the author, the speaker, and the coach, and her name is Darcy Loma. She has a lot of experiences in life, and it has transformed her of who she is today. She is also known in the coaching industry, and she is an author, and people in Madison, and I would say in Wisconsin, are going gaga over her book entitled Thoughtfully Fit. And it gives us a lot of recommendations and suggestions on how to do better in life. What do we need to do to be like Darcy Loma? And what does she want her viewers or her readers of the book to take away from Thoughtfully Fit? Before we will proceed to the main interview, I would like to remind the viewers to click on the subscribe button as well as the bell button so you get a notification every time a video is released. This is Jeanette Jordy at Global Inspiration, where you need to be seen, need to be heard, and be an inspiration to the world. Friends, let's welcome to the show our very own Darcy Loma.
Thank you, Jeanette. So nice to be with you today.
So, for those viewers who don't know you that much, can you tell us more about yourself besides being the coach, being the speaker, and being an author? Maybe you can share with us your education, your kids, if you have your pets.
Yes, I'd love to. So my most important role in life, I'm a mom. I have two teenage daughters. I also have a teenage cat. And we, in COVID, had 8 different foster dogs throughout the year. And that was quite the journey, and just so rewarding and exhausting all at the same time. My undergraduate degree, I have in mathematics and German. I was trained to be a teacher and certified to teach. And then I have a master's degree in organization development from Pepperdine University, where I did my master's thesis on the impact of coaching on overall life satisfaction. And spoiler alert, coaching helps you have a greater life satisfaction. Yeah. And that was the spark to my deciding to launch a business, coaching and consulting and helping people reach peak performance. And overcome the hurdles that get in the way of that.
Thank you very much, Darcy. I know you are into the field of politics before becoming an author, a coach, and a speaker. And during my research, I realized that you previously worked as a director for a U.S. Senator, a deputy transition director for a governor, and you belong to a national advance team for 2 U.S. presidential campaigns. Why the transition? Why did you move from the politics field to becoming a coach, a speaker, and an author?
Well, the short answer is because that's what I finally realized my passion was around. The little bit more nuanced answer was when the senator that I was working for 12 years, he announced he was not going to be seeking re-election. He was retiring. And so I hired a life coach. And everybody, my family, myself, my colleagues, my friends, all assumed I would stay in the political field as I had been for 2 decades. But Jeanette, it was fascinating because my coach asked me a question that completely changed the trajectory of my life. She said, Darcy, if in 10 years you look back on this decision right now about what you're going to do next when you leave the senator's office and you had no regrets, what would you do? And oh, that was like a magical question because I was like, really? I'd start my own business. I'd become a full-time coach and speaker and entrepreneur. Almost as quickly as I was excited to say that's what I would do, this inner trash talk started saying, you can't do that. You're the sole breadwinner for a family of 4. You need health insurance. You need a salary. And so she helped me work through all of those obstacles. And so on January 2nd, 2013 was my last day in the Senate. January 3rd, I launched my business. And it hasn't quite been 10 years yet, but I can tell you 100% I have no regrets.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Darcy, because if someone would ask me the same question, I do not know how to answer that 10 years from today. I do not know. Maybe I'm retiring, but what you going to do? My answer is, I do not know. So you
And most
are,
people don't know, right? That's
yeah,
absolutely, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
we do not know. We do not know. So you are a master certified coach. And I consider this to be a prestigious designation. Why prestigious? Because you need 200 plus hours and 2,500 plus hours as an experience. Now that you are master certified coach, who is who are you targeting as your clients, Darcy?
Thank you for acknowledging how rigorous when I was going for my MCC, my Master Certified Coach designation with the International Coach Federation, it was hard. I studied a lot. I recorded myself. I hired mentors and supervisors to tear apart my coaching and give me feedback because I wanted to pass that oral exam because there's a 94% failure rate. And I think at the time, there were 3.8% of the coaches in the world that had that designation. And so I think the only thing that changed after I got my MCC is that I became more confident and had better skills to coach. My clients probably have shifted somewhat in that I have a coaching team. And so I'd say I'm coaching primarily teams, executive leadership teams, and relationships that are in conflict. And then I coach a lot of leaders and high performing people, entrepreneurs, business people, politicians who really want to get to that next level.
Yeah. I salute you, Darcy, being as not only smart, but you're also strong and kind, and you have a big heart. I have been following you. I have been reading newspaper and social media, and now I am interviewing you. Thank you very much for saying yes.
Oh, I'm honored to be here. I love, Jeanette, I was binge watching your shows, and what you're putting out in the world is wonderful. It's inspiring.
Yeah. And your life is inspiring too. You are the CEO and the owner of Darcy Loma Coaching and Consulting, and you work in 48 industries with more than 500 organizations to create high-performing people and teams. Give us more details about this, Darcy.
Yes, I love what we do. Our firm really does focus on helping solve people problems. Generally speaking, people problems are what gets in the way of being high performing. And sometimes it's where we get in our own way. So we've got those that I talked about, that inner trash talk. Sometimes it's because we are over scheduling and over functioning and not setting clear boundaries. And then sometimes it's challenges with other people where we have relationships that don't work, or maybe we are reacting poorly when we're blindsided. And so that's what our company does. And we do it through trainings and workshops, keynote speaking. We do it through individual and team coaching. And then we do also a lot of team retreats and assessments to help raise awareness on what's getting in the way. And when we are doing even team coaching and team retreats, we're holding the system, the team, as the expert to be able to identify what success looks like and what's getting in the way of that, and then create the action steps and accountability to be able to chip away at those obstacles in order to achieve that success.
Yeah. Thank you for having that kind of business. Now let's talk you being the author. You are the author of Thoughtfully Fit. When my friends, and especially my sisters from the Zonta Club of Madison, was telling friends and my sisters, say, read Darcy Loma's book. What is this all about? And then we knew told me that I will be sending you a free copy. Like, oh. So when I started few pages, I could not put it down. I am so engrossed with the book, and I can feel that it gained me more confidence and made me a better person. Now, what is Thoughtfully Fit for the viewers? What is the book all about? What prodded you to write Thoughtfully Fit? Share that with the viewers, Darcy.
Yes. So Thoughtfully Fit is a leadership model that I designed when I started to notice that all of my clients were coming into coaching sessions with similar problems. They were over functioning. They had relationships that didn't work. They were feeling stuck. And so I spent 5 years researching and categorizing those hurdles and then designing this model to help people overcome and clear those hurdles. And I decided I wanted to write a book so that I could not limit the strategies and tools to those people who I was individually coaching, but anybody who wanted to invest in their own personal growth and professional development and handle themselves thoughtfully, no matter what obstacle comes their way. And so that's when I decided to write the book. And ultimately, it was at that time that my life blew up with one phone call when my neighbor called to tell me that there were 50 police cars surrounding my house and a SWAT team and guns, and that they had just taken my husband out in handcuffs. And what I found out later, Jeanette, was just devastating. It turned my life upside down. I found out that my husband of 10 years was arrested for sexual assault of a minor he had met online. He was taken away that day and he never came home. He was convicted and imprisoned. And I all of a sudden had to figure out how to be a single mom, how to get a divorce, how to navigate running my business, and hold everything together while my life was falling apart. And so I became ground zero to test drive Thoughtfully Fit, this model that I had just solidified and put out in the world. And I was able to get through that nightmare in my life because I relied on this model that I had created. And so Thoughtfully Fit, the book, shares the story. It's a hybrid self-help book with memoir of how this helped me every step of the way when I was navigating my husband's arrest and the aftermath.
So, just to be straightforward, what do you want readers to take away from your book? Do you want them to be more confident, stronger? What do you do? What do you want the readers to take away from the book?
What a beautiful question. In working with hundreds and hundreds of clients, I know that people are struggling. I know that people have challenges. They have obstacles, that there are things that, whether it's others that are creating the difficulties or whether you make a mistake, I'd say there's probably nobody out there listening and watching who wouldn't have something that they would not want on the 10 o'clock news at night. We're human, we're flawed, we're broken. And the message of Thoughtfully Fit is not that you eliminate the hurdles or that you have a perfect life or that you do everything right. Instead, the message of Thoughtfully Fit that I want people to take away is a message of hope. That even though life is hard and there are challenges and obstacles, you can handle yourself thoughtfully and you can get back to doing what you do best. And at the core of the model, which really goes throughout the entire book, are 3 simple steps. It's a strategy that can help you handle any obstacle. You pause, step 1, think is step 2, and act is step 3. So instead of being on autopilot and reacting impulsively or overreacting or maybe silently stewing, you can be intentional on how you're living your life and how you are navigating those obstacles. So at the end of the day, what I'm hoping people take away is not only a message of hope that you can work through any challenge, but also some really concrete strategies and tools that you can apply immediately so that you can effectively handle any situation.
Just to let you know, Darcy, I know and I've heard your name, I've read your name 2 years ago, I think, when I saw your story on Brava magazine. And I was telling myself, she is a very strong woman sharing her personal life to, to the public, and she has a name in medicine. And that I was telling myself, who is this woman? So you are not only a master certified coach, you are also a certified speaking professional. What did you do to earn this designation?
Jeanette, you are just adorable. You have so done your homework. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Okay, so certified speaking professional is a designation through the National Speakers Association, the NSA. And talk about rigorous. I had to send in recordings of me speaking and have 4 of my peers who are professional certified speakers all rate it. And I had to pass that. I had to, before you can even apply to be, it's called a CSP, certified speaking professional, you have to have earned $50,000 a year for 5 years being a professional speaker. I had to have 20 raters, people who had seen me speak, who had hired me to speak, rate me and have a minimum score. And then I had to, gosh, I don't remember now. This was a couple of years ago that I earned it. I don't know if I had to have, is it 50 presentations a year for 5 years, 250 presentations, an insane number of paid presentations. And so even when I launched my business in 2013, that became one of my goals. And it took me 7 years to accomplish that goal. I earned the designation in the summer of 2019.
Yeah, because I am a member of a speaking club. So when I did a research about how to become a certified speaking professional and all these requirements, I was telling myself, no, not me. But, it helps me to talk, to give me confidence, but I am not ready to be a certified speaking professional. So now let's talk about your 2 beautiful teenagers. You raised them as a single mom. They are supporting you, very supportive of you being the speaker, being a coach, and being an author, and being also a triathlete. Am I pronouncing it correctly? And when you say triathlete, you do swimming, cycling, and long distance running. You are so busy with your business. You are also into community services. My question to you is, how do you manage your time being a single mom?
Yes. So not always very well. And I would say for the first couple of years after my husband was arrested and gone, I was overwhelmed, and I it took me quite a while to figure out the rhythm and the routine, and also, to be honest, Jeanette, to be able to set boundaries, and to be able to recognize that it's okay to say no. I mean, even having a conversation with you, we had this scheduled in September, and my mom was really sick, and she passed away, and to be able to set a boundary to say, can we reschedule? That is a skill that I had to learn, and that is a muscle I had to develop. The other thing I'd say that I do, and that my daughters and I have worked really hard, is we design our alliance on our expectations. And so I know I am a better mom, and I am a better human, I'm a better business owner if I exercise on a regular basis, if I get enough sleep, if I prepare meals that are healthy. And so I have learned to carve into my schedule time for all of those. Actually, if you look at my calendar, you will see it on my calendar. So where I used to fit it in after the fact, and the fact of the matter is it oftentimes didn't make the cut, I now put that in first. So you can look at my schedule out a year and you will see that I have reserved the time for my exercise and for those priorities that help me to stay really grounded and balanced.
Yeah. One thing that I really like with your answer is saying no, because the first few months that I was saying no, it make me feel guilty inside. But the more you say no and you know your priorities in life, it's simpler. It's easier to do it. Now,
Yes,
yes,
it is. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, right?
correct, correct.
Have you found that?
Correct. And your friends are not offended. Your family members are not offended. It's all in our mind. It's all in
It
our mind.
is.
It is.
It is. When my team reached out to you to reschedule, there was no anger. You weren't mad. You
No.
were gracious. You were
Yeah.
happy to accommodate.
Yes.
That is what I have found when I set boundaries. People are happy. And as a matter of
Correct.
fact, not only that, what I will hear often, Jeanette, is like, oh, I got to get better at that.
Yes. Yes. Just say no. So let's talk about COVID. It is almost 2 years now. So we are doing it virtually. Schools are doing teaching virtually. We wear masks. We work from home. So you are thriving in your business. How did you manage it, Darcy?
We were very intentional. So in March of 2020, we had in 1 week 19 events get canceled or rescheduled. That was scary. As a business owner who does a lot of workshops, keynotes, retreats, trainings in person. And so we were very intentional on saying, if this is the new reality, which it quickly became apparent that this was not going to be a matter of days or weeks, that it was going to be longer. I don't know that anybody, at least I didn't think it'd be this long, but we embraced the technology and we learned I'll throw out some words that most people are probably like, wait, what? We learned Mentimeter and OBS and Ecamm and all of these tools and Jamboard to be able to create a really compelling online virtual experience for our keynotes and trainings and workshops and group coaching sessions, so that people could still feel connected and still feel engaged, even though they could not be in person.
Yeah. 19 events is too much for me anyway. And just to share with the viewers that Global Inspiration was created because I was working from home and I want people to know that there is more than in life, that life is that not negative. So I created Global Inspiration, but now after a year, Global Inspiration is a nonprofit organization. So I thank you for the viewers. You have a very strong, confident, kind heart, Darcy. My question is, who is your inspiration to be who you are today?
Oh, I have so many role models. A couple that come to mind immediately, I would say my mom and dad, both in their own ways, were strong. My dad was a school superintendent and a strong leader, progressive. My mom was a teacher and she has the biggest heart ever. She taught me compassion. Also, I think Herb Cole was an inspiration to me because he embodies the values that I find so important in life, of generosity and compassion. And but he also was very boundaried. He's an introvert and he taught me, and I watched him connect with people and give back and also set boundaries and also preserve his own energy and not just go, 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 give. That was really powerful for me to see how somebody could be such an effective leader and also not get to the point where they're driving themselves to exhaustion. He was a very much inspiration to me on being able to navigate that balancing act of service and also being able to put your own needs on the table as well.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing with the viewers that information, Darcy. I know you are preoccupied, you are all over the place, you have canceled 19 events. The viewers and I myself is curious. What do you do to give yourself a break? I know you do a lot of triathlon, the swimming, the cycling, and the long distance running. And I also understand you are a traveler. Is there anything that I have not mentioned?
Well, I would say, I mean, you're right. I do exercise really helps me to clear my mind and to unplug. And because I can't multitask when I'm swimming and I'm doing laps, I can't be checking my email. The other thing I do though on a regular basis, two things. I get massages regularly because that is like this forced pause for me. And it really just the physicality of being able to completely relax and have a massage is a way I unplug. And then I also go floating regularly in an isolation tank. And now in Madison, they've become very popular. They weren't for a long time. And if you haven't done it, or if somebody's listening being like, wait, what? Just Google isolation tank or going floating. It's 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt, and it is the most relaxing thing ever.
I should try that one of these days. So, one of my friends was asking me, Jeanette, can you ask Darcy this? Where do you practice? You are in Madison, Wisconsin. Do you practice just in Wisconsin? Because I know one of your staff who contacted me was in Colorado. Do you practice all over America?
We do. Yes, we're all over. We're all over the United States for the training and the keynotes. We are international for coaching, so we have clients all over the world. And certainly with COVID, that made that even easier to be able. I mean, we're working with companies in California, in Alaska, in New York, you name it. And I think as the world starts to open back up, we're seeing that some companies are choosing to stay remote because it's simple, it's easy, it's cheaper. And we have started to do in-person events. I did just this morning a keynote where it was a hybrid, where they had a couple hundred people in person and they had 80 people joining online. I think certainly the fact that the world has become much more open to connecting virtually,
Yes.
the possibilities are endless on where we do work without having, I mean, certainly I travel and go in person, but in the last 18 months, almost exclusively, well, exclusively until a month ago, it was all done online.
Yeah. Online during COVID, right? I've learned so much from you during the interview, Darcy, not just the Darcy Loma I've read on the newspaper through social media, but the Darcy Loma in person, the connection. So extend the warmest regards to your pets, to your daughters, to your staff from Global Inspiration. One last question, Darcy. Can you share any inspirational thoughts or messages to our viewers based on your life experiences?
I guess I would close by just saying that, when life is hard and it's messy or you screwed up, that you can always focus on and explore, what are my choices and what do I control? And instead of becoming a victim to your circumstances or shutting down, I would leave people with that message to engage their core, to pause and to really think and ask yourself some thoughtful questions so that you can act thoughtfully. And the other message that I'll leave people with, if anybody's curious, the research that we talked that I shared, and that's in my book, Thoughtfully Fit, goes through the 6 hurdles that get in the way of being high performing. If anybody wants to go to thoughtfullyfit.com, there's a free quiz. Takes 2 or 3 minutes, and it'll tell you what your biggest hurdle is. And the research shows that the strongest performing leaders have one thing in common. They have a tremendous desire to increase self-awareness. And so that's an easy, quick tool if anybody's interested to say, what's my biggest hurdle? And then it'll give you some strategies that you can use to overcome that hurdle. There's strategies that I use with my clients, I use in my own life, and that are outlined in the book.
What I've enjoyed about Global Inspirations is that I meet folks that I never would have, but that have changed my life. And today, another woman is going to come into your life to do that as well. Her name is Darcy Loma. And Darcy Loma's program, if I wouldn't even call it that, her way of life called Thoughtfully Fit is going to inspire you. The ability to think of yourself in a different way, have different communication skills, and your ability then to be able to change your world is amazing. And that's what today's about. Darcy Loma matters. She matters to her children. She matters to her coaching clients. She matters to me. And I know that she will matter to you.
Again, this is Jeanette Jordy at Global Inspiration, where you need to be seen, need to be heard, and be an inspiration to the world.